And we're good. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Rory with Roar Sports Media, and I'm here with WarMachine2013. All right, sir. It's so good having you on my channel, on my streams, and I've been a fan for a long, long time. I think since about 2014 when I first saw your highlights being made. And, well, huge fan. Glad you came on.
Oh, well, appreciate you having me, man. That's awesome that you've been watching that long. You
Yeah.
joined right a couple of years before I got HD, so I appreciate
Oh,
you
yeah.
sticking with me.
Yeah, no problem. So pretty much why I started. So I was prior service. I was a Marine, constantly overseas, constantly in different time zones, and basically just unable to watch college football. Basically, just it was super duper hard to be able to catch up on what was going on in college sports. And I'm a diehard Razorbacks fan. I grew up in Ozark, Arkansas, and pretty much, everyone in Arkansas is a Razorback fan, except for in Jonesboro. There are some Red Wolves fans, cool, but everyone knows that the Razorbacks rule Arkansas. So your channel helped me stay up to date on what was happening within the Razorbacks organization fan, and then also going back and dipping into the history. So what made you get into making highlights for the Razorbacks?
Well, first off, that's awesome that you were able to keep. That was how you were able to keep up. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool to hear, and thanks for your service, by the way, too. Well, the history of it started, I don't know, about 2009-ish. I just graduated high school, and my dad had a bunch of old games on VHS, a bunch of old basketball and football games. I'm like, well, I got a DVD converter. I was going to convert them over. And then I started looking on YouTube. I'm like, none of this stuff's out there. And there were some other people making highlights at the time, but it was a little bit different style than what I do. I'm like, well, I might as well do it. Why not? And just kind of just slowly took off from there. I started with the 2009 football season. I did those old games, kind of got my channel going. Did the 2009 football season. When I actually started making videos, I put music on the videos for the first few. And I realized, well, not a lot of people like that. Heck, I don't even know if I like that because it's going to be really hard every week to come up with a different song and deal with copyright issues. So I just stopped doing that. And it's crazy to me how much it's blown up in the last 11 years. It's just, I never would have imagined that, one, I'd still be doing it. And two, to be sitting here with over 11,000 subscribers on YouTube and videos well over 100,000 views. It's nuts to me. I just started doing it just for the heck of it, just for the history of it. I'm a history teacher, so I like sharing history, and it's amazing to me. I never expected to have the amount of games I do. It's nuts. I wish I could. I don't have them all organized properly. Otherwise, I'd show you how many there are. But it's just stupid how many.
Yeah, it's no problem. I'm a huge history buff. Also, love it. And prior why I joined the military, just because the vast history of it. So that's why I like your channel, because I was able to go back and watch all of the 1960s and 70s highlights and stuff, just something you wouldn't, it would be hard to go find and really watch and enjoy. And your channel provided that for me, just because I was diehard Razorback fan, and anything that happened or Razorback related, I was like, yeah, this is really cool. And so your channel kind of provided me with all the knowledge and all the experiences of past Razorback stuff. And you just can't believe that I'm here talking with you, and it's pretty cool, man. It's kind of weird that that's 6 years ago. I'm just in Germany watching one of your highlights, and now I'm sitting in Korea, and I'm talking to you live. This is so dope.
It's crazy. One that you said, it's been 6 years since you saw one of my videos. It's crazy how fast time flies. It's ridiculous. Because I feel like I just started doing this in 2009, and we're sitting here in 2020. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. Hopefully I'm still doing this in 2030. So that's pretty cool. So you're from Jonesboro, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're literally the entire state apart, pretty much. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up in Arkansas. We don't really know a whole lot about Jonesboro, but glad that the Razorbacks are far and wide across Arkansas, and that's good to hear. So covering the Razorbacks for the past 10 years, like how up and down it's been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I graduated in 2010, and my '09 season, I was wanting to get recruited by Bobby Petrino, talked to a few of the stuff, and then didn't happen. Didn't happen for me, but still a huge Razorbacks fan. And then I wanted to play for Bobby Petrino, and then what happened when I was in the Marine Corps with the whole pig trail incident? I was like, oh no, man! Like what is happening? Because we were a prominent football organization, and to go down so fast and just that tumble, man, it was crazy. How'd you feel about that?
Oh man, yeah, it's still 8 years later. It's still just amazing to me how just that whole situation went down. That story alone is just nuts. What happened with him, and then the program itself. It's just I never would have imagined we would have gone from beginning of the decade going 11-2 and finishing number 5 to going 2-10 back to back. And knowing the history of the program and everything else, it's just I don't know. I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around what has gone on the past decade, because I know it's not it's not the norm for the program to be as down as it has been, especially the last 3 years. Yeah. I thought in 2014 we were really about to start coming back with Bielema, and with those shutouts at the end of the year, that team honestly should have won 9 or 10 games. They just couldn't finish against A&M and Bama and Missouri and Mississippi State, speaking of which. And I really thought we were turning a corner then, and obviously Toledo happened. And that was still a decent year in 2015, but man, those two teams should have been so much better than they were.
Right.
And then even in 2016, I thought, well, they were sitting at 5-2. They just beat Ole Miss. They beat TCU on the road, and you think things are about to turn, and then they lose 56-3 to Auburn, and they blow those 2 games at the end of the year, and it's the last 3 years have just been miserable. Honestly, there's no other way to put it. And
yeah, it's been so bad, man. I wanted to believe in Chad Morris. I really, really did. My friend, my boy was like super hyped on him coming out of SMU, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. The man talked a big game. Like he talked like he was like just gonna come in here, we're gonna be national champions. I'm like, and it was such a contrast with Bielema. We were all like, yeah, sure. If you're that high energy, because everyone knew Bielema, he was kind of not necessarily a smart aleck, but he was witty, but like not necessarily over the top. And then when you have this Red Bull drinking, pretty much frat boy type coach come in, it's like, yeah, we're gonna go do some stuff. Everyone wanted to kind of believe it because we were that close. We were 8-win, 9-win, almost 9-win team some years, and it's just kind of like, are you gonna push us over the top? What's gonna happen right now? And then we all saw what occurred. Like it was so bad. I think the moment of like just straight depression for me when it came to being a fan of the Razorbacks was the North Texas game. Whenever no one touched the I think it was punt returner.
Yeah,
and I was like, what in the world is going on? Because like you're watching it live, and it's like, dude, like no one's even gonna try and like take him down. Or
to be fair on that one, he did give a fair catch signal, and that's still. I'm not trying to be bitter here because they beat the crap out of us.
Yeah.
But he gave the signal, and you coach the guys. If the guy gives himself up, you stop. And to me, they took advantage of a safety loophole, which, credit to them. They found a loophole, and they took advantage of it. Yeah, that – and then the game before against Colorado State, to me, the play that really set the tone for his whole tenure. They're up 27-17 to start the fourth. They got 4th and 1 at midfield, and you've been going on left lane, hammer down, yada, yada, and you punt the football. Boogie. And you punt the football, and you end up blowing it, and you lose the game. That game set the tone, and that call set the tone for – not even his 2 full years. So
yeah, and it just makes you wonder if he really ever had the locker room. It makes you one of those guys where like really going to go out there and fight for him after that. And it's just I don't want to hate on Chad Morris too much. He's in the past, all that stuff. Right. It's just kind of like I feel like we were, I guess, duped from his just persona, his bravado, all that stuff, and it's just kind of like, man, what could have been? And I feel like we wasted 2 years of Arkansas football, and then the fans have been just, I guess the word would be like, I mean, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's just depressed.
Beaten down. Yeah, beaten down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. We did kind of waste 2 years, and I was with you. I was a big fan of Chad Morris's. Actually, I followed him at Tulsa. I followed him at Clemson. It seemed like he was turning SMU around, and he just isn't meant to be a head coach. I mean, it's just that simple. Just the things I've heard, especially since he got fired, it's just like, oh my God, how did we even hire this dude? But that's what happens when you hire a football coach before you hire an AD. And
that is true. That is true.
I got a bad feeling after they hired him. I coach high school ball, and I went to the clinic in Hot Springs. He talked and Craddock talked, and just listening to Craddock especially, I just got this, oh crap, what have we done? Like, what have we gotten ourselves into kind of feeling? But I still wanted to believe, even after his first year. I'm like, well, we got a good class coming here, and then San Jose State happened, and that was that.
Oof. And to be fair, like, he was able to recruit pretty well, even with having such a bad tenure here. But he got some killers, man. Traylon Burks, Trey Knox. Those are no jokes. He did pretty well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, several of the guys who made parties. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe they got Bumper, right? Bumper Pool.
They did. They got him.
Yeah. And he turned out to be a stud whenever, he's actually coached, which you saw that with him coming out of high school. He was, he's a 4-star linebacker, man. And you had high hopes for him. And it's sad that they didn't get that kind of play out of him whenever he was a freshman and a sophomore, because, if he had the year he's having up to right now, we don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the year. But if those flashes happened earlier in his career, his draft stock for the NFL goes way up, man.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for him from just a fan standpoint, because clearly I'm an NFL guy. Also, wanting to push in more NCAA, but from a draft perspective, like seeing Bumper out there against MSU, a team that just put up 600 yards on LSU's defense, and him out there with 20 tackles, that would have raised his draft stock for the NFL way up. And watching the secondary do what they did against MSU was amazing also. Like, I'm sorry, we're getting into the MSU game, but man, talk about lighting the spirits ablaze in Arkansas, man.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I hadn't had that feeling, and I don't know, probably since the Ole Miss game in 2016. I forgot what it felt like to win a big game and to do it on the road, to do it on a team against Mike Leach, KJ Costello, the air raid, yada, yada, after all the hype they got, and to do it, go down there and hold the 14 points, and honestly should have won by more. That's what's crazy.
There were points left on.
Yeah.
Points left on the field.
The fourth and goal call, I actually kind of liked going for it there, because it was still in the second quarter. You're like, we're probably going to need a lot of points to win it. I don't know. It was a tough play. I mean, they ran power read. His read got muddied, and it was a tough play.
And you don't foresee KJ Jefferson also fumbling down there too. That stuff happens, and you're gonna have to deal with that. But I like the aggressiveness. I like that it shows like we're here to win. I mean, sometimes you have to be a little more smarter with kick a field goal. I get it. It's tactics, Marine, military. I got it. But if you feel like you can get it, you're confident in yourself, then do it. You see that all the time with the Baltimore Ravens in the NFL. They're very confident in what they can do. They go up, they go for it all the time on fourth down. And if you're confident enough to do it, then I'm all aboard. But sometimes, you gotta be smart about it.
Right.
There is one thing with the Razorbacks. I do want to see them get Rakeem Boyd a little more involved. That's one thing.
Well, I think he was probably going to have a pretty good game Saturday had he not got hurt. Him and Burks both. But it was nice to see Traylon Smith step up, and then Trey Knox and who else stepped up?
Warren.
Yeah,
he had a huge game.
Yeah, that was great. And then Hudson Henry had some good catches. It was nice to see those other dudes, those other youngsters, step up and make plays.
Yeah, And it's nice to see Hudson Henry getting involved too.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic because I clearly he's Hunter's little brother, and then the other Henry on the other side of the ball too. I want the Henry boys to do good because they're Razorbacks through and through.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You just love seeing it, man. You just love seeing the camaraderie. And like, dude, I think 14 hours ahead of you in Arkansas. So like I tend to be asleep during the middle of the day for you. So my wife literally woke me up whenever the game was won, and she told me like, baby, that the Razorbacks beat MSU. And I literally just like started screaming because like I was like, no way. Like I was like, yes. Dude, you're right. I hadn't felt that excitement, that joy, that just I felt like I was on fire. My body went hot, dude. I was just like, oh yeah. And then being a true fan, that's what happens whenever you experience that ecstasy, that feeling of finally seeing what their team that you love is capable of, I guess.
Yeah, well, heck, I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 8:30 the next morning. I went to bed at about 11:30. I couldn't. I just was just giddy. I've been giddy all week.
Yeah, me too. And like, the fact that we're getting Auburn, who struggled mightily against Georgia, and like I told you, we played well against Georgia for like almost all the way through the third quarter. And had it not been for silly mistakes and silly like turnovers and stuff like that, like it's a lot closer game than 35-10.
Yeah, there was that one sequence at the end of the third quarter that got them. Because they're up 10-5, like 6 minutes. Georgia went on a good job. They scored, made some good plays, and then it's 13-10. But the two plays that really got them were the block punt, which basically gave them a touchdown because they got the ball inside the 20, and then the pick six where Woods stopped running on the slant.
Yep.
That it just was a bad couple minutes because other than that, they might have a chance to win that game. It's just their defense, man. Georgia's defense is so freaking good. It's unreal how good their defense is.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. To see oh my god, not true. Burks get that finally get a touchdown. Oh my god, man,
that was
like
nice.
I'm so happy for him. Because you get to see what he can actually do. Because Trey Knox and Traylon Burks are for sure NFL talents. Like they are.
Oh, yeah.
I need to see more. But if I was evaluating from right now, just watching the film and watching like what they're capable of, like those are like high day 2 picks. Like I'm talking like third round right now is where I'm probably taking the both of them. But if they make a strong enough case and like Briles' offense showcases what they can do, I could see them both pushing into the top, the bottom of the second round of the NFL draft. I could see it. It's just so nice watching a competent head coach put these players in positions to succeed. I didn't know what to feel about Sam Pittman whenever he was first hired. I don't think anyone really did. But what you do love to see is that this man's passion for Arkansas was very evident. And that's what you want to see.
Absolutely.
How'd you feel about that, WarMachine?
Well, one thing about Chad, I know we're not going to spend a lot of time on Chad because he's honestly not really worth talking about. But one thing with him is that his wife never even moved to Fayetteville.
Right.
And he, every Friday, which I didn't mind him going to see his kid play, but
nope.
He had the GAs breaking down his son's high school tape. And they just never felt like they were invested. And with Sam, like at first when someone pitched the idea, they should hire Sam Pittman, I'm like, that's crazy. An O-line coach, are you nuts? And then I really was on the Lane train. And then that was a whole other deal. But they hired him, and I just immediately, after that first time they talked to him, like, I'm sold. I'm in. Because I started thinking about him, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. The guy loves Arkansas. If you want to win, you got to it starts with the offensive line.
Yep.
The guy's been coaching forever. He's coached with some of the best coaches around. He knows how to run a program. And I'm sure LSU fans, when they first were talking about Ed O, were like, well, this is stupid. And the dude loves LSU, and it paid off for him last year. I'm all aboard the pit boss train. I think he's going to do some great stuff, and he already shown showing it. I love that he kind of took a shot at Chad in his post game, and when he's talking in the locker room, he's like, because Chad every game, well, we got to recruit, new Arkansas, yada yada. Whereas Pittman's like, everyone that's on this plane is going to contribute. Everyone that's here, and it's just obviously the kids love him. They bought in. That was something Chad never got from the get go. They were like, no, we're not buying it. With Pittman, they're all in, and you can tell they're playing their tails off for him. And the coaches are doing a great job of putting those kids in good positions to succeed.
Oh, for sure. I think that the one thing when he said, it's like, hey, you're right, because Chad was always pushing off the blame on someone else, and I was like, dude, that's not what leaders do. I was talking to an NFL guy, a big NFL personality guy, a couple of days ago, and he was talking about leadership and all that stuff. I'm like, well, and he was talking about how putting blame on others and stuff like that. Leaders don't do that. Leaders take the blame and they say that they'll do better to train whoever they have on hand to do the best job that they could possibly do. That's what leaders do. If you can't do that, you're not a good leader. Sam, when he said like everyone was playing, that's all we needed. That tells me like, this guy just wants to lead the Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm like, he doesn't recruiting. Clearly he's a great recruiter, but he believed in the talent that we had here. And that was amazing for me to hear. Cause it's so new. It's sad to say that that's refreshing, but it was,
Yeah, it really was. And then to turn that dang jukebox on. I love that.
I loved it. Loved it. The party afterward was amazing too. That was so cool. I hope they don't, it's not, and it wasn't the club dub shit.
No,
sorry for the language stuff.
You're good. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
So much worse.
Trust me, my prior Marine working on construction workers all day long. I'm not the sailor.
Yeah.
So how do you think the Auburn game is going to go, sir?
Well, I have the same good gut feeling I did against Mississippi State. And it's not always right, but I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. If the offense can – because I thought the offense did take a step forward last week. Now, I swear they did everything they could to try to give it away at the end, but in the fourth quarter. But overall, I thought they took a good step forward. You can tell the O-line has – as far as pass protection is better. You can tell they still are trying to develop those guys. They still need some dudes up there. But overall, I think if they can take another step forward and the defense can continue to play the way they have, I feel pretty good about getting a W. I didn't really expect to be able to say that going into the year.
Well, I don't think anyone did.
And then I think the kids are going to be absolutely jacked about playing Chad, especially with the way their offense is struggling. They honestly should have lost to Kentucky. If Kentucky doesn't turn the ball over multiple times, they probably do lose to Kentucky. Kentucky, man, they're speaking of them, they're snake bit. They should be 2-0, but that's just the way football is.
It happens.
Yeah.
So with Auburn, I think that you're right. The boys are gonna come out with their hairs on fire. And if there's a group of people that know what Chad Morris does, it's them. He recruited them, and they know they've been in his offense for the past 2 years. So a lot of them know what he likes to do, what he likes to run. And clearly, I think it's Gus Malzahn's our head coach, right? Just making sure.
Yes, yeah.
Gus. Maybe he gets a little more involved in the offense, probably because Chad just came from Arkansas, but I think that they're going to have a pretty good game. If they can play that same level of defense, and if Barry Odom, which I think is the hire of the year from a coordinator standpoint, I went crazy when I found out we were picking up Barry Odom, because he's an amazing coach. The fact that it didn't work out in Mizzou was sorry for him, but great for us, because I love him as a defensive coordinator, man. I love it. Crazy. But if they can play that same level of defense, and the offense gets a little bit more together, maybe never run a fake ever again, please. Just kidding. Do what you need to do, but just clean up some of the small details of the offense, and I think that we win. Not like I'm not gonna say we're gonna blow out Auburn. They have a lot of talent, but I think that we can. I think that we can get out of there with a dub.
I do too.
But state of the franchise, state of the program right now is I'm optimistic at to say the least. I think. How do you feel about it, sir?
Oh, I feel great. I mean, I felt good coming into the year. Really, what I wanted to see this year, even when the schedule came out, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're going 0-10." I'm like, I just kept telling people, I'm like, "Look, y'all don't."
I don't believe that.
No, I didn't either, because I'm like, y'all don't realize how just awful the coaching was the last 2 years. Just as a coach myself, I'm watching them. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? It didn't make any sense. And then no one got better. Like, I never saw any kid like actually just get better throughout the year.
Yeah.
And it was just, that doesn't happen. And just, I'm like, guys, we got a real staff now. Pittman knows what he's doing. Odom was a heck of a hire, obviously. Give that man all the money. Browse was a good hire. And then some of the other assistants, like Carter, the DB coach, I mean, they made good hires. And I'm like,
for sure.
I kept telling people, we might not win a lot of games, but you're going to see a much better football team. And I feel pretty good about the program. There's no doubt it's headed in the right direction. I would have felt that way even if they had lost a tight one Saturday. I saw what I needed to see against Georgia.
Exactly.
And it's nice. It's nice to see the kids playing hard. The kids are being put, like I said earlier, put in good spots. It's nice to see a bunch of flying Razorbacks swarm to the football again and playing hard. And it's refreshing. Like you said earlier, it's really refreshing.
It's just a breath of fresh air for sure.
Oh,
and I've been a Bengals fan since I was a kid, also in Arkansas, so I know what bad franchises look like. And what I was telling my guest a few days ago was, I just want to see growth. I want to see competitiveness. I want to see that, and I want to be able to build upon that. With the Razorbacks for this season, I was the same way. I just want to see something different. I want to see competitiveness. I want to see them just going out there, even if we do lose a lot of games. I want to see that we're in the games. I want to see that there are decisions that are being made that, you know what, I didn't see that before. I didn't see that they're out there and fighting all the way until the end of the game. A lot of the games, like within the last 3 years, you saw even with Bielema, that fourth quarter is just been cursed for us. And it's it's just like the I think one of Bielema's last year's, is either second to last year or last year, was Mizzou, and we're leading by like 3 touchdowns, and then he gives them all back up at the end of the game. It's just like, what in the world is going on here, man? Like what's going on? I think that's what got Bielema, what helped him get fired, clearly, but it's just you want to see competitiveness, I guess.
Yeah, I really liked Bielema too. I still actually like Bielema a lot because he just got lazy. He lost guys like Pittman. He lost Randy Shannon, some other assistants. And, man, if he could have just held leads, the dude would still be here. That's what's crazy to think about, because I don't know how many he blew the most double-digit leads of anybody. And it's just, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I'm happy we got who we got. And it's great that the program's finally waking up. And it's crazy how everyone's like, oh, they're not going to win a game. Now they're getting votes in the AP poll. It's just
right. And you have 2 of our defensive players being co-defensive players of the league for this. And it's just like, this was here. This was here all along, and you didn't. What in the world?
Yeah.
And like I love Monteric Brown too. That physical play.
Good,
I mean, he got hurt on that play, but like that's the stuff you want to see. That's that fight. You want to see that fight. You want to see the competitiveness. You want to see that they're not going to lay down, and that's just that's something that's been lacking or missing. But they're playing inspired football right now, and I'm so excited for the future of this program. I do think that they're going to play Auburn hard this next week. I think that we can get away with the dub, even if we don't. As long as we're being competitive, I'm going to be happy about it.
Yeah.
I don't think that we get blown out of the water just from seeing Chad Morris's offense being ran by Bo Nix.
Wow. It sucks for Bo, because I think Bo is
I like Bo
quarterback. And the only thing that really makes me nervous is that Gus, for some reason, every year wants to save all of his ammo to dump on Arkansas, because the last few years he's dropped It's been 56-3, 52-20, 34-3, and 51-10. Like, he saves all of his bullets, and for some reason has a vendetta against Arkansas, even though he's from here. And Arkansas is the reason he's even in college coaching.
Yep.
And I think Chad will be fired up too. But
yeah, well, the
problem
thing
is so with Arkansas, and Barry Odom's a pretty good DC, obviously. So
exactly, like, they weren't playing Barry Odom's defense for the last 2 years.
They were playing John Chavis.
Yeah, who's coaching in high school or middle school now?
Middle school.
Yeah,
he clearly was just here for the paycheck.
He clearly was. He was just here. Go hit this pad. Yeah, this is the technique. So this is a long arm, and it's just like, oh my god, dude! Like, what in the world? Like, I don't know. You can see why Texas A&M moved off him.
That's crazy to me. I mean, even when they hired him, I'm like, ugh. The dude had Myles Garrett and all these other studs, and still was giving up gaudy numbers. I'm like,
the game before we got him, he gave up around almost 60 points to
like 600 yards or something ridiculous. Like, the dude can't defend the new era of offense. He can only defend I formation offense.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, like zero ability to adapt and change from John Chavis. Zero. Barry Odom showed you what he can do going against Georgia. We know what kind of offense they run, and then played them really well. The defense played them extremely well.
Yeah.
Then going to the air raid, you know what? We're only sending 3. Try and get past this air defense. See what you can do. Couldn't do it, and it's just, you love to see that ingenuity. You love to see that adaptability, and it gives you hope for a defense that's been kind of atrocious for the past probably 3 years. Just see them flourish like they are right now is amazing.
Yeah, and what's exciting is the youth on really both sides of the ball, but especially defensively. You're talking about Montero Brown and Faucha and Catalon, redshirt freshman, and
yes, sir.
Bumper Pool's a junior now, but he'll be back next year probably. It's just, and the defensive line's got a lot of young kids, and I know only had a 3-man rush, but I thought they did a really good job overall, especially plugging up holes to help linebackers fill on those inside runs that Mississippi State did. It's exciting. It's just really exciting to see how they're playing at the level, and just like, oh crap, we're pretty young. And
that fourth down stop was amazing too.
Oh my god, the 4th and 1 where they ran it up the gut and he just got absolutely stuffed, and there were about 7 to 8 Razorbacks right there. Oh my god, that might be my favorite play of the game.
All right,
that was awesome. That was grown man football right there. It was exciting.
Oh, for sure. So we got our first few comments, War Machine. So Gus is always extra when he plays Arkansas for some reason, and they continue to get exploited. Yes, sir. We have a very young and talented team. Ruiz, is there anything else you want to ask War Machine? We can continue talking so he comments or something. I don't know, but man, I'm just so super excited about what's going on, and like it's nice to see. And I wish that the players that are in the NFL were like prior Razorbacks that left during the last 2 years. You could see when they on social media, they went crazy, man. They went insane. Like Sosa game up in Denver was like just losing his mind. Apparently, I don't know if you follow him on social media, but that's amazing.
Yeah, I do. And it's crazy to me, even with him literally being moved. He played a 3 technique, then went to a 5 technique, then went to a 0. They played him at every spot in his
everything,
and he still was drafted in the 3rd round. And he put up big numbers, and people are like, "Well, he underachieved." No, he played pretty well.
No, he was the defense. He was the defense. So what do y'all think about Justin Stepp and his work with the receivers on and off the field? Personally, I think he's an amazing receiver recruiter. Him getting I think his Twitter handle is Detron out of Texas. Amazing, like, dude, that kid's gonna be a beast. You can see dog in him. And him getting Trey Knox and Traylon Burks, like, Coach Stepp is amazing.
I coach receivers. I think he does a great job.
Oh, for sure.
I would like to go to a clinic if he ever does one and listen to what they do. So,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So who was it? Oh, Footwork King on Twitter was like, dude, I'm loving what Coach Stepp is doing with my guys. Like, what they're doing up in Arkansas is going to be special. And it's it's great to see coaches that love their players, and clearly the Snag crew, they're loving their coach. And who is it? Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton up in Denver right now is he has the highest respect for Justin Stepp, and that just shows you what kind of individual he is, what kind of person he is.
Yeah, and the fact that Pittman kept him too. And Sutton is a man. Speaking of dudes, that he was a dude.
Yeah, he was, and I hope he gets healthy in the NFL. Yeah, for sure. I want him to get healthy because Denver, when they get Drew Lock back, when they get Cortland Sutton back, when they have Jerry Jeudy, they have Noah Fant. Man, the Broncos are going to be crazy good. They just need to get that team healthy, and they're there. They're there for sure. The Razorbacks' future looks so bright to me, and I can't wait to keep watching. Like, they've given me something to hope for. They lit a fire ablaze in me. I know they have you and you too, sir. Oh, but quick question. Where did the name WarMachine2013 come from?
Well, initially, my first channel was like my initials, and it got taken down because copyright stuff. And my Edspot's live name was War Machine, so I'm like, well, I might as well just use that. And I never, if I'd anticipated like my channel blowing up the way it has the last decade, I would pick something different. But I'm like, well, it's too late to rebrand now, so I'm just going to stick with it. So that's where it came. It's nothing fancy. I was a big Marvel guy. I liked War Machine. I thought it was a really cool name. So
I love it too. Yeah. So my wife was actually asking why is his name War Machine and he covers the Razorbacks? I'm like, I don't know, but it sounds cool as hell to me. I love War Machine.
I think Iron Man 2 had just come out, and he was in that, and I thought War Machine was just awesome. So I just rolled with it. Yeah, there's not really a cool story behind it. That's really just.
I mean, that's a cool enough story, but as it is. So talking about rebranding, like literally when I messaged you, I was still roaring the jungle, and I was like, you know what, man? Like, I don't just want to cover the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't just want to cover one thing. I want to be able to talk to people like you for the Razorbacks. So I changed it to just a more sports media, so that way I can be a little more general in what I'm covering and what I'm doing. So that way I can have WarMachine2013, the Arkansas highlight creator in my eyes, and it's honestly amazing that I'm able to talk to you, sir. And like I've been a huge fan for a while, and I'm glad that you're giving me an interview, pretty much.
Well, Mr. Ruiz, no problem at all. So
Mr. Ruiz has one more thing. How long was War Machine been covering the Razorbacks football? Oh, so he missed it. So I think you said 09 was when you
09 was the first year.
Yeah. So long time, man. And quick question: are your videos copyrighted? Because I know whenever I have like some NFL stuff and like my reactions, they hit it with the copyright. Nothing like crazy, like a strike or nothing, but like just like, hey,
they claim it. Pretty much my first channel. So I actually almost stopped after 2010. Early in 2011, I almost stopped doing it completely. And at the time, what they were being super hardcore. Like, it wasn't just me. That the copyright Nazis were out in force. They were throwing strikes on people's channels. And my first channel got deleted. I got 3 strikes out of nowhere on 3 videos, and my channel got taken down, and it sucked. But I had several people. I didn't have nearly the following I do now, but a lot of people were like, you got to keep doing it. I'm like, okay. So I made another channel. I did War Machine, and then that one got taken down.
What?
And it was early 2011. And my first video on this channel actually was the 2011 Auburn game where they beat them 38-14. I made this channel as a second channel just in case that one got taken down, and it did. And I'm like, well, if this one gets taken down, that's 3 strikes. I'm out. I can't keep doing this. And thankfully, they stopped doing the strike thing, and they just started doing. They claim it. So I can't. Obviously, I can't make any money anyways, because that's what would get me in legal trouble if I tried to make money off of them. But they just claim it, and they put a commercial on it, and they get to stay. I haven't had any problems since then, and it's been great.
I mean, clearly you doing what you're doing is helping you out, especially from just a reach wise move, and clearly it reached me all the way across the world, so that's pretty cool. War Machine, I'm not going to keep you up much longer. I appreciate you coming on the channel, dude. In the future, I'd love to have you back on, talk some more Razorbacks. Hopefully, we have a lot more wins. Is there anything else you'd like to say, sir?
Well, just it's really exciting times to be a hog. I mean, not just with football. Sir. You look at all the sports, really, especially. I'm a big Arkansas basketball guy too, obviously, with all the videos. It's exciting what Musselman's doing. I'm not a huge baseball guy, but the baseball program obviously is in great shape. It's exciting to see all the programs starting to get it rolling, or they already have it rolling. And I'm really excited about Pittman and the coaching staff, and it's nice to see Arkansas football being Arkansas football again.
Oh, for sure. And Arkansas loves baseball. We love all that stuff. But everyone knows the Razorback football team is what Arkansas lives for, because they're the closest thing to a pro team as we got here. And whenever you have the entire, I think that's what sells a lot of recruits too, is they're the only team here besides the Timberwolves, who people support the Timberwolves, like I said, but the Razorbacks, they are the pride of Arkansas. I'm glad that we have to talk, sir. I appreciate you talking. I'm gonna let you go. In the future, I hope you can come back on. Real fast, do you have an NFL team or no?
Yeah, I'm unfortunately a Cowboys guy.
Man,
I know.
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk to a Cowboys fan in a second, going on their live stream. But sir, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. In the future, I'll reach out again. If we can, hopefully, we have some more wins to talk about. And I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
No problem at all, man. I'm happy to be here. Just let me know, and I'll gladly come back.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you. Woo pig.
Go Hogs.
Yes, sir.